Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Sam, I'm a therapist, and this is an accurate representation of what I look like. Today we're going to be looking at the whole Colleen thing and trying to apply a therapy concept to it, just to see if we can make a bit of sense out of it. We are all in our own individual bubble. All of us. You, me, everyone you've ever met or come across. We're bouncing around in it through our lives, for most part, alone, with our thoughts and experiences. A lot of the time the bubbles are mostly translucent. We can see out, and we can see other people bouncing around in their own bubbles, sometimes ramming into us and putting us off course, and sometimes they bounce alongside us, maybe for a few moments, but sometimes for the rest of our lives. The bubbles can then become so translucent it's like they're not even there, and we can see the other person so clearly, and them us, that it's like we're in the same bubble together. But sometimes a person's bubble becomes opaque, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. You know where we're going with this. Now, I don't know much about Colleen. I've never watched her, and all I knew was somebody with a little bit too much lipstick on. If it wasn't for the video she recently uploaded, I would have no idea about her. Just so you know, anything I say, it's not coming from any place of prejudgment. Literally, what I know is that video. So, Colleen recently made an apology video. I am in two minds whether that's the correct word to use. Well, I'm in one mind really. No, it wasn't an apology, was it? No, she made a video. Now, some of her fans, now a little older, have come forward stating that she's been inappropriate in group chats. There's videos of her getting kids to put their hands down her trousers and stage. Her whole act seems to be desperate for adult viewers, but doomed to be liked by kids. So she came out with a video, and when you start it, there she is, the camera angled down at her so she looks small and helpless. She looks mournfully at the camera, and she pulls out a ukulele. Can I just say a blanket statement here? I think it's pretty much objective. If you're talking about child abuse, whether you've been accused, if you're innocent, or if you're just discussing the topic, you don't use a ukulele. It's a ukulele. So already Colleen doesn't seem to be able to see outside of her bubble. She's discussing this really important topic, something that should be taken seriously and that matters. And she's doing it like this. The phrase tone deaf comes to mind. Now, I'm not going to play any of her video. One, I'm pretty sure she's going to start copyright striking it. All these videos have been done, and I'm too tiny to have anything to do with that. So, and quite frankly, there's loads of videos with loads of people talking about it and reviewing it and going through it. And I don't want to give her an extra view. So personally, I've watched all the other people reviewing it, and I've heard that song so many times. If I hear it one more time, I think my head will implode. That's another thing. It's an obviously well thought out song. She or her team spent time writing it, arranging it, and then filming it, and then someone uploaded it, all without wondering, is the bloody ukulele a bit much? Anyway, the very start of the video, where she does the YouTube sigh and stares at the camera, then reaches for said ukulele, shows us how she's feeling about the accusations. It's about her being victimized. She's the injured party, and we need to be taught what we've done is wrong. It's so condescending to me, and the subject matter, as I said, should never be used in this way. This is something that everyone reviewing it seems to be in agreement with. The tone-deaf stupidity of thinking this would be a good idea. So, how come she didn't know? As I said, the song was actually annoyingly well written for a musical theatre number. The set was staged, it was produced. It wasn't a stupid line spat out in the moment. They thought this through and decided to do it. How did she not know what everyone else seems to know? At one stage, she reaches to turn the camera off and goes, "Oh no, wait," and then sings an obviously pre-rehearsed more of the song. It was so obviously put together. Your normal YouTube, at least they look like they've thought about it and they're just speaking from the heart, or at least they try. This was a whole other ball game of, I can't even call it apology. So how come she didn't know? Unless there's something else going to come. Maybe at the point of me uploading this, she's going to come up with something else going, aha, I fooled you all in this way. Oh, who knows? But on the face of it, if this was her trying to save her reputation, her career, how could she not know how other people would take this? The opaque bubble is one answer. Now, I've never met her, obviously. I'm a therapist. I can have a pretty educated guess based on all the clients that I've had and all the things that I've read and seen throughout my life. I don't know. This is pure conjecture, me considering possibilities, and that is all. But I can't help myself think, her bubble's gone opaque. I try to be a good person. Personally, I am a therapist. I want to help people and do nice things. But I'm human. I make mistakes. As Colleen so helpfully pointed out to us, we all do. Can I just point out that my mistakes have never involved a child going anywhere near my trousers? I don't believe that's a sentence I just had to say. The thing is, I'm sure I've hurt people. I don't think anyone can make it through a life without causing harm. But if I found out that people, anyone, adult or child, felt that I'd harmed them in the past, I would be devastated. I'd say, I'm sorry, I didn't realise, I didn't mean to, but what can I do now to help? I mean, you would, wouldn't you? I'd be hurt by the fact that I'd hurt someone, regardless of if I'd meant to do it. If I felt that they were wrong and I hadn't done those things they'd accused me of, I'd still take it seriously, because they may still be hurt, or someone out there will be hurt by what they're talking about. We are talking about child abuse in this instance. This should always be taken seriously, regardless of your place in the conversation. And that's what makes her video so jarring, and I think kind of insulting. She's not taking it seriously, or she certainly doesn't seem to be. It's just haters enjoying being mean to the tiny little lady, and she's here to teach us the error of our ways and how thoughtless we've been. It reminds me of the rousing speech the nice girl gives at the end of the teen movie to the mean girls at the prom. It's like if Regina George was telling off the crowd while throwing bits of the prom crown at them. Except she keeps the crown for herself, because no one in that crowd deserves any of it. You know, maybe Colleen was so stuck in her own bubble at the time of the incidents that she didn't realise that what she was doing could hurt these kids. Maybe. She just thought it was funny and couldn't see anyone else to recognise that they could be upset. Her humour seems, well, vulgar. All fart jokes and embarrassment. Maybe she just thought it was funny, like she claims. But still, if someone says they are hurt by it, you take it seriously, and you feel for them. That's what's missing from her video. Any feeling or recognition for the people standing forward. Now, back to my bubble concept. Each of our bubbles are filled with our experiences through life and the beliefs that we pick up on the way. What we're taught, what we learn, everything that happens to us and around us fills up our bubble. Our perception of the world is gained through our own senses. Everything has to be filtered through our eyes from our angle and from the position we're in. But as humans, we also have theory of mind. Theory of mind is the ability to understand that if you can see and understand and think, then that blob over there that's vaguely shaped like you must also be able to do those things. So, even though we form the world in our head based on our experiences of it, we can still see outside of our bubble and get a glimpse into other people's worlds. We can see them and understand that they too have their version of the world. There are 8 billion versions of the world. But sometimes the bubble glazes over and becomes opaque. With some people you do wonder if it's always been that way. When it becomes opaque, all you can see is your own stuff, and you can end up thinking that that's all there is. That you are seeing the outside world, but all you're really seeing is your own reflection. You see only your world and what everything means to you. If you can only see your own thoughts and beliefs reflecting back at you, then you can start to believe that that is the outside world, and ignore all other versions of it. With Colleen, the start of that video, the fake out YouTube sigh and then reaching for a ukulele, she shows immediately that she's the victim, we're in the wrong, and the silly subject deserves condescension. Just to remind everyone, we're talking about harming children here. She actually says in the song, this is all about a fart joke. That's what she sees or wants to present as the issue everyone is upset about. Aren't we hateful and cruel to get so angry about something so silly? We're just doing it for attention, and because we find cruelty funny. By belittling our concern, she's belittling what we're upset about. It's like calling people haters when they have a perfectly legitimate reason to be angry with what you've done. It belittles it. The concept may be sound to get her out of this. Nasty, but sound. But the way she did it with a zingy musical theatre number shows how unconnected she is. And didn't she have a TV series called Haters Back Off? Funny that. Whether this was a very badly considered publicity stunt, or she actually feels like she's in the right and the victim, I can't say. All we can do is conjecture on what we've seen and heard. The facts are that we've seen videos of what she did on stage. We've seen the text conversations she's had with kids, and now the stuff with Trisha and sending nudes to kids. That is illegal, immoral, and awful on so many levels. It would be like climbing to the moon. Now, Trisha does OnlyFans, which, just to say, I have no problem with. Each their own, make your own decisions. If you're happy, go for it. But Colleen sent photos, screenshots I guess, of the OnlyFans to children. Now, it seems to be to make fun of Trisha, to laugh at her. So 1, we have sending nudes to children, and 2, you've got laughing at somebody else's expense. Now, I did a video before this one, a good long time away. Yeah, I know, algorithms and stuff. I should do more videos. I will, I promise. Please like and subscribe. And to be honest, I've never been sure with Trisha whether she is a lovely, misunderstood person or not. I don't know her again. But she doesn't deserve that. There's no way on this earth anyone deserves this. And the way, as it's been shown, Colleen was to her face. We have videos of this. And how apparently she was behind Trisha's back. This is more speaking to how Colleen is. She can't see other people. They just seem to be there to make fun of. Allegedly, of course. Now, take out the child abuse and then put it right back in again. Colleen doesn't seem that nice. She is like the mean girl who never got out of high school. She even mentions her weight in the video, her bony little back, and apparently there's lots of other things where she mentions weight and talks about weight. Is that why she was having a go at Trisha? And in the face of all this, she does a jaunty little number, and it was long. That song went on. And this is where the bubble comes in. As I said, this is all pure guessing. I don't know her, but in my job I've come across enough people who've either been in their own opaque bubble and can't see around them, and generally end up hurting themselves rather than lashing out at others. Or I've heard about the people in these bubbles who are harming my clients, and my client think it's all their fault. Now, we can't do anything about other people, really. We can try, we can talk to them, and hope we say something that clicks in their head, or we can rally around the person they harmed. But each person has to work on themselves. We have to choose to change. No one can change us. So we can't change anybody else. If someone has their fingers in their ears, it doesn't matter what you say. No one can change Colleen. She has to be willing to open up and listen to the people speaking. Whether she realised what she was doing was harmful at the time, she's in her 30s, right? I'm trying to be open-minded, but there's a difference between giving the benefit of the doubt and being an idiot. So whether she realised or just didn't care because she found it funny, she's now doubled down and doesn't want to look past the reflection of her own bubble. We don't sometimes, because it hurts. It hurts to realise you did something wrong, that you are in the wrong. That's why we hold on to the wrong thing for so long. We keep walking down a path that we consciously know is bad for us. The wrong relationship, the wrong job, a course, whatever. Because the pain it causes to live in the wrong life seems lesser than the pain it will cause to admit that we went the wrong way. Not to mention having to back up and find another path. And if you're in your bubble and it glazed over, would you know? Have you been walking down the wrong path? Are you questioning it? Does it hurt? Someone out there is. A lot of the time our opaque bubble shuts us off from the reality around us. Sometimes we can see everything as our fault because all we see is a reflection of us. We forget that other people exist, and it can't all be our fault. This is internalizing the problems and seeing everything as down to you. Someone's mean because you're not good enough. Something goes wrong because you didn't work hard enough. Even things that, if you thought about them logically, you would see are out of your control. We take things on our shoulders that aren't our concern. That's for another video. The opaque bubble makes you blame yourself and miss choices that could help you heal. Or it is actually our fault. We did do the wrong thing and it should be on our shoulders. But all we see is a reflection we want to see and we hold on to it. This is externalizing it. If you're externalizing, then nothing is your fault. It's all everything else. The people, the systems around you. You're the victim or the only one who gets it. Everyone else is to blame. Almost like you're on a toxic train of some sort. We all know that person that seems to move through the world, barging past others, blaming everyone around them for simply standing there. It never makes sense how they can't see anyone else or what they're doing. They're either a criminal mastermind or their bubble's gone well and truly opaque. So, what can we actually do about this? About the other person? Nothing really. We can critique Colleen. We should, in a thoughtful, logical way. Maybe it'll start to sink in. Maybe she'll at least question the sense of what she did. Maybe not. All we can do is put forward our thoughts, then stand back and keep our fingers crossed. And obviously look after anyone who was hurt. So we can't do anything about the other person, but we can do something about how we react to them and how their actions affect us. We need to put what they're saying and doing into perspective. Sometimes we take on board other people's opinions without even questioning them. And they're just people. So are we. Why is their opinion more important than yours? So here's a little exercise to have a go at. Okay, so this is what you do. You will need a bit of paper and 3 different coloured pens. Write down what they did or what they said in black ink. Just let it out. Don't overthink it. Just let it flow exactly how it comes to you. Hi, so this is my phone, this is the bad sound, and these are my hands. I'd just like to point out I don't know a Sandra, and I know a couple of Darrens, and they're very nice. Anyway, so next we take the red pen, and we're going to circle everything that is fact, objective fact, that you saw with your own eyes, that you can say, yes, this was happening. Basically, okay, they were both laughing. We can see that. We saw that they were both laughing, standing there. But that's it. We don't know what they were laughing at. We could go, Sandra was laughing. We can see that. But we don't know why. You might be right. Oops. But you might not be. She was standing with Darren. Yep, there you go. She was standing with Darren. They were both laughing. That is your only fact in that whole thing. Again, you might be right. But who says they are? Next, you're going to take the blue pen and you're going to circle assumptions. These are things, again, you might be right, you might not, but you have no set proof. Even if someone comes up and says, you're stupid, it doesn't actually prove that's what they believe. That might be what they need to believe. That might be what they want you to feel bad. They might be jealous and think that you're smarter than them and want to drag you down. Or they might actually think you're stupid, in which case, well, why? And are they smart enough to judge your intellect? I don't know. But we're gonna go through assumptions. At me is an assumption. They think I am stupid. Or he thinks I'm stupid too, means they both think that you're stupid. So these are 2 assumptions. This is the only thing that we know happened. 2 people were standing together and laughing. We've assumed these other 2 things. Next, we are going to write that, but just using facts. Okay, so we'll do it in black. Whee! So Sandra, good British name, and Darren, another good British name there. Again, I don't know him, I'm just saying. Were standing together. I have the worst handwriting. I also can't spell. Just to point out, if I spell anything wrong, just let it go. Just let it go, okay? My spelling is never going to get any better, okay? Practice kindness and let it go. Stand together and laughing. There you go. That is our what we can say is a fact, right? Next, your subjective things, write it in dialogue, okay? Because written down like this, if you're reading, you know, a book, generally if it's an omnipotent narrator, what's written down is what's actually happening. And then you come to dialogue, which is just the two characters, fallible generally, completely, talking about things, saying things. You take the narration as fact of what's happening, not the dialogue, because the dialogue is coming from people. So in this we will go, I think, they think I'm stupid. That's our problem. That's what we're worried about. We think people think we're stupid. And what does that mean to us? There's Sandra and Darren. They either stand there laughing at us, or they're just laughing and glanced over. We don't know. Some people, you know, yeah, exactly, that's what they're doing. But in this situation, we're just going with, you've made the assumption that they think you are stupid. Why do you think that? Where's that come from? This then is what we work on. Not them, you. Where's that come from? What in your past has told you that? Why do you think that of yourself? Is that an actual concern? You think you're stupid. That's your low self-esteem, and you're projecting it on poor Sandra and Darren, who are just sitting there laughing about whatever they watched the night before. What does this mean about you? Forget Sandra and Darren. Just like to point out here that any of the techniques or exercises I or any other therapist talk about, it's not going to be you do it and you're fixed. It takes time. You may have to do this over and over and over again 1,000 times before it starts to seep in. For the rest of your life, maybe. We're talking about a whole lifetime already of conditioning. That's a lot to battle. But it can be done, absolutely, with this technique and the bajillions of others out there. I like to think of anything mental, emotional in the same way as something physical. If you cut yourself, you're not going to look at the cut and think, well, why aren't you healed now? You're going to look after it, you're going to clean it, you're going to put a band-aid on it. You're going to give it time while keeping it safe. The band-aid, keeping it safe, is self-care. It's looking after it. It helps it heal better, maybe even a little quicker, but time heals it. And it's exactly the same with anything emotional. So give yourself time. Don't think anything is just going to fix you. If anyone ever promises, you know, one session, do this, join my course and everything will be fixed. No, it's hard work, it's determination, but you can do it. Of course you can. You're a person. So give yourself time, give yourself credit, and endure, and you'll heal. The point to this is to make you analyse what was said or done and question it. If someone says something that matches what we already believe about ourselves, then we'll just believe them. If you have low self-esteem and someone says you're stupid, you'll believe them. If someone else says you're smart, well, we'll just assume they're being nice, but they don't really mean it. Funny that. But if we can start questioning the world around us, making ourselves think past our initial reaction, we can start seeing past our own opaque bubble to a more realistic world beyond. Because if you're not questioning what people say to you and their motivations and their own issues affecting their judgment, and this also goes for the yes men I imagine are surrounding Colleen, then you're stuck in your own opaque bubble and you're seeing your own reflection rather than the truth. You're seeing the skewed image you have of yourself rather than what's actually happening. You're seeing the image of a stupid person or the image of the always in the right and blameless person who can play the ukulele. Try this exercise with things in the past and moving forward, with things that are sure to happen to us in our future. Just making yourself stop for a moment and think through what someone did or their actions can really take it off your shoulders and squarely back on theirs, if that's where it belongs. But also try, as painful as it can be, to recognise when it does deserve to be on your shoulders, when you were in the wrong. We all are sometimes, and in the long run, it will always be best for us and them to be honest with ourselves. It would be best for Colleen. Maybe she could have come back from this. Maybe. But now, it's not just the bad things she did, it's her obnoxious reaction to it all that's done the damage. And the whole hand down the trousers thing, and sending nudes thing, well, you get the idea. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you've made it this far, thank you. Please like and subscribe and all that awesome stuff. If there's anything you wanted me to talk about, any ideas, stick them in the comments down below. Always open to new ideas. But thank you very much. I hope it helped a little bit, maybe, hopefully. I'll see you next time for whatever it is I go on about. It'll be sooner. It will be sooner. Anyway, bye.